Namaskaram and welcome to one of a few videos which I have to make. So we have to understand that I'm neither the YouTuber nor the traveler. There was a time when I was volunteering in Bengaluru, and whenever the profoundness of experience used to hit the peak, I used to write poems in the local groups, in WhatsApp groups. Possibly because of that, or when people saw me doing the volunteering, people used to come and then ask certain kind of things. Usually about the spiritual experiences and how I began. And it used to take a lot of time to explain. Sometimes few hours. We remember that, I still remember there was one time when we were actually traveling back from one of the location in Karnataka, very close to Bengaluru, but from there we completed the volunteering and we were coming back to Bangalore in one of the meditators' car, and they started asking about a lot of stuff, and it took me around nearly the entire time period frame when we're coming back from there till Bangalore. I was the only person speaking. So eventually I found out that it was not actually realistic or possible for me to go and speak with everyone and sharing my experiences. It's not the realistic way to do it. So that is when, as the questions came up from various people, I thought that it would be wise to create a YouTube channel, so that if anybody is interested, I can just share it into the YouTube. If they are interested, they can go through the videos. If they are not interested, they can drop it. So either way, it's really good that it saves my time and their time also, because in some cases you are bound to listen to me even if you are not interested. So there are many things to share, and I think everybody's aware the yatra I was doing with several other meditators on and off across Indian subcontinent, determining the energy spaces. Now, in the precursor of the Samyama program that is going to happen very soon, the Vavaspandana program was planned in Nepal also, and I know that there would be lack of volunteers for this particular program. So it was necessary that I would offer myself in whatever way I could. Just like any other volunteering activities and everything, it helped me let go of many limitations, and in some cases, if not overcome the limitation, at least it made me aware of my limitations. But a very important, significant shift actually happened, which has actually turned my entire system upside down. I'm still struggling in a good way, but I know for that it will require completely different type of determination, sadhana, time, silence, which means that I need to dedicate a lot of time for myself, within myself. But the Sannidhi.net the project that envisioned possibly even a small fragment of conscious planet movement, at least for my understanding. I could not live in between. The possibilities are limitless if you know how to find the energy spaces. It can transform not only you, but it will leave as the possibility for many other people also. And I can see that there are at least 8,000 visitors every month to the website, and I'm actually doing nothing here. This Sunny.net was the requirement of the hour to save the energy spaces, becoming aware of the gurus and different enlightened beings and many consecrated spaces so that they can be used in a proper way. And without Sadhguru, it would not be possible. And I'm doing the easiest part of just traveling and mapping them. The hardest part was done by these beings who got enlightened, who got to realize, and not only that, many of them actually developed the capability so that they were able to consecrate and create these energy spaces. So I don't have words for them other than the gratitude. Because whatever the energy dimension that is missing within you, you can actually use that as a support to a certain extent. But the greatest thing is the sadhana itself. If you are already initiated into Isha practices, that's really good. You need to push it to the limit. If you really give into it, there's no need for you to go to the temple. There's no need for you to go to the energy spaces, and there is no need even for you to go to the Kailash also. If self-realization and enlightenment is a goal, that I can guarantee to you. But if you want to explore other dimensions and mysticism and everything, these things can actually not only accelerate but give you certain kind of access. I'll not speak much about it because my goal is your flowering. I'm not much interested about the capabilities you are going to gain, because life is very short. Because of that reason also, I'm trying to reduce the amount of the yatra that I'm going to do. It's not like that I have completely dropped it. I have certain kind of commitments to the larger yatras, which is going to take place very soon. Hopefully, like some yatras may take in the future, but I'll not be taking the major yatras like I'm doing now. Although I was postponing certain things within myself, although I know these possibilities and everything, I postponed it to certain action because this mapping thing was far more important than myself. But I think we have traveled enough to most of the places, and some of the places that we have not traveled yet, we're going to do very soon. And we'll also be provide as a possibility that many of you want to develop this skill of finding the energy spaces also. So I don't want this to go and die with myself because this has to be the living reality for all of us. Although I wanted to postpone, but the Bhavaspandana program and many of the yatra before that, a huge paradigm shift actually happened within myself. It's not like that, I didn't have access to those dimensions in the past also. They were a living reality. But the transformation and then the clarity that I received has done a completely crazy game changer. That is what the Guru is all about. And if you see in the back, there are a lot of books. It's not like that I need to read all of those books, but meanwhile, while I was doing the sadhana, there were like a certain things that I actually wanted to explore a little bit more. But after that paradigm shift, almost most of these books actually means nothing to me now, but there's certain things that has to be taken care of. And I don't know like if I'll be much more active socially or not, at least in terms of like digital platforms. One of the reason being like whatever needs to be shared is already shared, and Sadhguru has now reached almost most of the people in all over the world that could be reached in whatever ways. And the possibility that is knocking to my door for a long period of time, it just crashed open during the Baba Spandana volunteering. It just crashed open. So I just need to, I'm just like trying to cope up to this upside down reality, the transformation, I would say, or the paradigm shift that has happened. My system is still struggling, and then trying to adjust to it, which basically means like I need to work on myself, and working on myself and then working in this project. Both of them cannot work together very well, and that I know because the amount of research and level of work that needs to going into this kind of thing is not that straightforward. I know I can completely give this responsibility to other people, but I want to tell you that there are a lot of things that is missed by the seeker, not only the seeker, but also the people who are actually taking care of the temple also. I've seen this in many different places. Unless your perception is not wide open, such that the moment you enter a certain kind of space, it is going to hit you, just like the wind, just like the change in the temperature. I'm just like telling the analogies, don't take this as my experiences, because I can tell you so many things. There are so many things, and I know that many of this is going to die with me. But again, these things are not necessary for your growth also. If it is needed for you, it is going to open in due time, or maybe in certain kind of timeline. Possibly we can cross the road, and then hopefully there can be a situation where I can share with you. But our priority is your flowering and the flowering of the people around you. That is the only thing that I'm concerned about. And I want to make the most out of the possibility that has come to me also. And it's a great privilege that I was able to visit all these places with various other meditators. I've been able to experience many energy spaces, many beings. And I would tell you like there are far more energy spaces because every time I go, many things I find that like has been left over. But again, like it's not realistic to map everything, and it's also not necessary to map everything. Although it is necessary to map everything because they need preservation. If a lot of people start doing sadhana in a larger scale, it's not realistic for everybody to travel to a specific location, but it is actually far more realistic to make use of the energy space close to your place. This is what Sadhguru is also striving towards, consecrating the planet, consecrating the Linga Vairavi Yantra Sannidhi, temples, spaces. But as Sadhguru's time is running out, of course mine is also running out. I know that completely clearly, and I know your time is also running out. So the only most profound thing what we can do it is just like Sadhguru says, striving towards on flowering, transcending the various levels of realization that comes through your way, and leave the footprint so others can also make use of it. And I think I've already spoken enough and created enough content. Even in the Instagram itself, there are too much content that I think for many people it might take a lifetime unless they start doing the sadhana. If they do sadhana, all these things are not needed. So eventually, I'm just a light, the reflected light of my Guru. I'm just like a satellite, like a moon. If you are attracted or influenced by certain words from me, in a good way, it's all him only. If you think you have been misled, that's all only me. So let's make use of Sadhguru while he's here, while you are here, and the possibilities here. I'll of course come with some of the videos that are mostly needed. This is not the last video that I'm going to make before I'm taking a big step. We do not know what is going to happen in the future, but currently I'm 100% clear that I need some time to work on myself for the possibility that has come to me. But at the same time, I cannot just drop the sannidhi.net in the middle, because I do not know what are the changes that is going to come through when I'll be working on myself. I don't know whether I'll be able to come back and speak like this or not. We do not know. I never know. So, but I may also come and work more clearly. Those are the things. But for the time being, this video is very, very special to me, because many of you who have been following these videos and everything, you have to understand that as long as Sadhguru is there, just focus on the sadhana. Don't try to do this and that. The only reason I'm doing the yatra is because many of you will not be able to do it. And at the same time, if somebody else is doing it for you, you just have to make use of the process. Don't try to play around and waste your life. There is always a time for certain kind of activity. When that time has passed, it's very, very important that we need to know what has to be done next and work towards that. So having said that, I'll see you guys in the next video. So thank you very much for listening to me. Namaskar.